I came here I came and sat down this morning and or should I say afternoon, to speak, because obviously there's a reason to, like, why I'm here. There's something on my mind. There's something that was like kind of like placed on me that, like, I don't know, I feel like I needed to talk, or maybe I just needed to find like a reason to explain myself in a manner, in a way that I can like voice my feelings and my thoughts and my ideas into a void, and then I can finally like let it go. And I feel like, as a person, like me, I hold in a lot of stuff. Like, that's just, my nature. I hold in a lot of um emotions and thoughts and worries and fears and hopes and dreams, and a lot about me is like really, really inside, and I don't really like to express on it, because I have like a huge like art barrier, especially around like my dreams, where I really don't think that people would be able to understand, because based off of past experiences on um of like telling people about it, and or like talking about it, and I could just tell on an energetic level that they couldn't relate, or I would be able to, or I talk about like my ideas and feelings on something else, and you can tell that like they just couldn't relate or understand. And when I've been listening more, you know just like really listening to people. I would ask questions and purposely like see what what do people say, and how do they respond. And I've noticed how like important it is for us to sit down and think about what we say, or just understand what we actually value before we make it our script into the world. I feel like conversations nowadays don't get the appreciation of silence. I learned the appreciation of silence all the way back when I was in band. Um, when you're on rest, and those rest moments really make a big difference as to, to make the song, more impactful. Instead of just bland and like one volume, there's dynamics. Not everything is playing all at once all the time. Rest is like, the rest note is one of the most powerful and one of the most key notes, and one of the coolest notes, actually, looking ones, in music. And but when it comes down to speaking and dialogue and having conversations, and really like even having conversations with yourself, and I'm talking like indirectly, like internally, do you ever give yourself the chance to really like, or the person that you're talking to the chance to, or do they give you the chance to really sit there and like think and ponder and be aware and feel out the conversation? I feel like if we did that more often, and we started to respect that in that moment in time you're conversing with two people's like philosophy on whatever topic that you guys might be talking about, and that in that mere sheer moment that a revelation could appear, and it might appear, and or in that sheer moment you guys just get the chance to even share that conversation, that moment there, like I feel you might be able to, or at least I've been able to take away more key things out of my conversations with people that do understand or do get it on an energetic level. And you start to like understand who are the people that you need to hang around with more often. um you should start kind of, like, in with doing that. That means that you have to be more honest, not with only just the people around you, but with yourself. And you have to sit with that honesty, and you have to deal with the consequences of that honesty as well. But you shouldn't be afraid, as I say, consequences, because karma, I say karma, there's the good karma and bad karma. There's good consequences and there's bad consequences. And whenever you do what you feel is right, and it may not seem like everything is good at first, you have to always look at the bigger picture, understand that change and situations always take time, and you're doing it for the greater good in your future. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking on some like Thanos level shit where he thought that genocide was like for the greater good, but I'm talking like, respecting your boundaries, and respecting yourself and loving yourself, and understanding that you are human and flawed at its core. And that's completely okay. Everyone around you is like that. So whenever you also take that into consideration, you kind of you slowly learn to be like less mad at people, at the things that they do. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself at how far you like came, and how far you're gonna go as well. Hold on to that hope, that faith that we all have. There's been a bunch of philosophers that have fell into straight, like, great despair, and even some that took their lives, but they all understand. I think that's what it is. Like, I'm still able to see the beauty in life, and the beauty of it, like the moment of the present moment in the mind and the spirit and the consciousness. I am so unrelieved, and or like, I should say, like, I'm so like, I do not fear death at all. For I know that, like, I'm straight on the other side. Like, I have no type of fear of like what's going to happen like on the other side at all. Like, I just have this strange confidence onto the next life, and I that in itself does not have me fear death. But that, not saying on like on a suicidal level, I'm just saying, like, I just don't fear it. And whenever my time comes. But when I just also, I even with having all that, like, and even changing my whole mindset and working on myself and stuff, my depression, I still feel that heavily at times, and I still at times like do want to like take my life, like and or like I'll still have the thoughts, or still think about it, or I still feel like the depression on my body heavily, even still like understanding the beauty and everything in life, and knowing that, like, even still knowing that, like, what I feel in that moment is just how I feel in that moment, and then eventually, like, that too will pass on, just like the joys and the happiness, like happy times that I will have and have had before and after. The sadness and my depression will go away too. To understand that there has to be like a balance inside, and the goods and bad within yourself. Like, if you were happy all the time, you wouldn't enjoy being happy. So sometimes, like, the sadness in your life is necessary. You know what I mean? Um, so, and when I've been on like this whole like growing and journey and this stuff like that, there was like a peak of like happiness and stuff. And so eventually like I hit like a sad, like a very low sad recently. And I realized some things about myself, and how I still find myself like retreating within myself, and always hiding, always trying to find, like, I always, like, my inner child is still like trying to find like some type of home, you know what I mean? And but I feel like that's okay to admit that, to understand that that's still going on, and I'm still healing. And I mean, like, healing is a lifelong journey, and I am only 22, so I still have a lot to go, pretty much. And I don't need to rush myself, and I don't know why I feel like I need to at certain times, um like I need to fix all of this so I can reach like my higher self. Like, no, like I I have to understand that the lows is part of the journey and part of the process of living and understanding life, and to experience, to understand the wisdom that I was blessed with, and I continue to learn and understand, and so I can be able to, integrate that into my life and into my personality, into who I am, so I can pass that down, that type of knowledge, or simply just use that to evolve nowadays. You know what I mean? So, but sometimes, like, I do catch myself like in that fix of like, what it is that I could see myself as like as what I want to be now, and I full-heartedly believe in myself at accomplishing it. So I just want to go ahead and get it done now. You know what I'm saying? But like the stuff that I want to do takes a process, and most of it like has a lot to do with outside forces. So so in return, I do a lot of work within, you know, and do what I can and continuously get better at doing what I can. So so I'm one of the bigger lessons that I've been learning recently is patience. So with that, and that's pretty much, I guess, like what I wanted to speak about. I don't really have that, like, that feeling of like, I gotta say something. I don't want to explain that. But this is kind of like it's kind of like my own therapy for me, because it teaches me how to be vulnerable, you know. I hate that shit. And it teaches me how to be vulnerable, and for me to be a better creator, and for me to be a better artist, musician, better me, I need to learn how to be more vulnerable. So this is one way of teaching myself. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I have to say today. Ciao.